Photography magazines can be a great source of inspiration, I think. And Outdoor Photography magazine, like many of them, have reader submission pieces. They've got one in particular which is called "If You Do One Thing This Month." So you can submit your photos, you can win a prize, but I want to try and see if I can get one of my pictures in there. I'm not really bothered about the prize itself. The theme this month is coastal abstracts, which is based on an article by photographer Rachel Talibar in the magazine. So I've come to the coast. So it's the middle of the afternoon and it's quite sunny, so it's not exactly standard landscape conditions, which might mean the abstract stuff will work. But I haven't done really much in the way of abstract photography before, let alone coastal. But what abstract stuff I have tried was once in a competition, which was probably a contributing factor to me not getting through to the final round. So I think I'm going to walk a bit further down this beach and then I just have to experiment a little bit. So abstract to me is maybe a little challenging because I'm just trying to think of some really simple techniques which would make an image abstract. One of those would be having an image out of focus, which is what I'm trying here. I've basically split the image into three. I've got a graduated filter to hold the light in the sky back a little bit just to even the exposure. And so it should be still recognizable as a shoreline, but blurry. So I'm going to see how that turns out. Put on a 2-second timer and it's okay. So I put a ND filter on the lens just to slow it down and get a long exposure. And I'm kind of liking how it looks, and I'm sort of liking a bit of the shape that I've got with this. So I think I might put a longer lens on and try and achieve something with the same triangles that I've got here, looking like that. So I'm in a similar position, but I'll get set up with the longer lens and give that a try. Okay, so I've gone in pretty tight, about 135mm. I'm focused right in the foreground and the sea is cutting a wedge right through the center of the image. And with the ND filter on, I've got an exposure of 10 seconds at f8. It's interesting, but I still think I need to find something else. Generally speaking, I feel like I'm not having too much luck. But what I'm trying now is something that's a bit trendy in abstract photography circles. So again, I'm going for a slower shutter speed so that when there's movement in the frame, it's going to be blurred or become abstract looking. So I'm physically moving the camera as I'm releasing the shutter. I'm going for a similar setup to what I've tried by splitting the image in two between the beach and the sea. And we'll just have to see how it turns out, as with all of these shots. I'm basically releasing the lock on the tripod head here. And so I'm holding my finger on the shutter, and as I'm thinking about to hold it, I start moving the camera, release the shutter, and end up with stuff that looks a bit like this. I'm in great danger of getting wet soon. So I've been practicing a bit with this now, and what I'm doing is I've got a bit of a composition of the shoreline, and I've got a 3.2 second exposure. Shit! Right, well, never mind. As it's quite sunny, it's good, I guess, because I'm going to dry out. I'm not built for coastal photography. As I was saying, so I got a 3.2 second exposure. For about half of that time, I'm leaving the camera still, so it captures a bit of the shoreline, and then I start moving the camera, and it becomes a bit of a double exposure effect. And I'm just going to experiment with it until I've got something that I quite like the look of, or until I get soaked again. Now I'm paranoid. This is sort of fun. 4 seconds now. 1, 2, 3, 4. My seconds are a bit fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll have to get ready to jump. I think the big ones are rolling in again. I'm moving. I had to make a bit of a hasty retreat there just due to time, but I had a lot of fun down there. I could have really spent the whole day. I've just got back to the car, and I've been thinking that I've missed a few opportunities. I would have liked to get some close-up detail shots of some interesting rocks or bits of seaweed or just something like that. Instead, I'm mainly just concentrated on the shoreline, which is okay. I think I just need to see how they look when I get back. See you later. Since returning from my coastal adventure, I've now had the chance to go through my images and select the ones that I've now submitted to Outdoor Photography magazine. As you can see, there's some of the images that I captured in the film and a couple of others that I didn't. The ones that you didn't see are these two. So this one is a variation of the second image that I captured, but it incorporates a bit of intentional camera movement. I went a little bit tighter in, and I panned the camera from right to left as I released the shutter. In Lightroom, I've desaturated it slightly and given it a square crop because I quite liked how equal the two sections are between the ocean and the shore. Later on in the day, I got the opportunity to take some more photos, and this is one of those. I was immediately drawn to the difference between the dark blue of the shadows and the bright orange of the highlights, which were rocks reflected in the surface. And when you're close in like this, I think I was at 180mm, it takes on an abstract quality of its own, and I think that it looks like a mountain range made of glass, and yeah, I really like it. I had a great time at the coast, and I really enjoyed working to this brief. And it's projects like that that put you out of your comfort zone and make you go somewhere where you wouldn't normally go, or take images that you wouldn't normally take, where you really start to learn about yourself and also the controls of your camera and that kind of stuff. Will any of these images make it into the magazine? I hope so. And if you happen to see a November 2017 issue of Outdoor Photography magazine, pick it up, flick to the back and see if I'm in there or not.